Blessings and shalom, brothers and sisters. First and foremost, I really had to get this natural together. I am thinking about doing a video over my natural hair, showing pics of where I began to where I am now. And it's really because Father has led me to go natural and stop using relaxers. And pretty much I want to inspire Black women, because we have this problem, to embrace and start accepting more of the image Father made us in regards to our own hair texture. And starting out, personally, it was tough because I didn't know anything. And a natural isn't worldly standard or even considered pretty. So I had to deal with some insecurities. But I live in my truth now that Father, He didn't give me worldly hair. He gave me specifically the most kinkiest 4C hair out there, and it is what it is. And He thought it would work for me, so who am I to change that unless I disagree with how He made me and try to change that? And we all have our insecurities, our imperfections, but at the end of the day, it's how we were made, and we should have more respect for the creator. It wasn't up to us, it was up to Him. So I'm thinking about doing a video on that, talking about my natural hair journey. Not in a series, just a video. I'm like Powerpuff Girl right now, but I have 4C hair. It's the coarsest and kinkiest. And unfortunately, it's very deceiving, which I really hate that reality of it, because 4C hair tends to very much shrink up a lot. If I tell you my hair comes down to here, you wouldn't believe me from seeing me now. Other sisters might know exactly what I'm talking about. But I've been natural for 4 or 5 years now, and my hair is very healthy and more manageable. Yes, I've been keeping it prayed up because I have figured my hair out now. When I started, it was like, what the heck? What's wrong? Trying products that other people try, who might have my same texture, who might not. Just when I was naive more in it. And I have realized that just because I have 4C hair and the next chick have 4C hair doesn't mean the products we use work on our hair because we have the same texture. Hair is like black hair texture is like a personality of its own. It's like having twins, and one twin might like chocolate milk, and one twin might like regular milk. Even though they're twins, they have their different likes and dislikes, and that's how the natural hair is. What works for some doesn't work for all, even if you have the same texture. So I had to get to know my hair and what works best for my hair, what does not work best for my hair texture to prosper naturally in the reality Christ created it to prosper. But I digressed that for another video, perhaps. But I wanted to come on and talk about what's going on now in the world with these protests, and the people in the protests, and the ones funding the protests, those choosing to take money to participate in these protests. What is happening is not a shock fest. It is a spirit of blindness that Father said will come on the brink of election last year, that would take over many to where more lawlessness would abound more in those that were already blinded and lost before. And I had a dream last night where I was constantly running and hiding in this like retail store, which was nothing but a maze of racks with nothing but clothes or items on it throughout the store. And then the layout would transition back and forth into me running and hiding in this medieval looking castle with stone walls and torches lit up on the wall for light, going up spiral stairways to hide and such. And as I'm hiding from, I don't know what to call them. They were over 6 foot tall, and they looked deformed in some disgusting and terrifying element about them. They were monsters, but looked like tall men. They looked like giant men monsters who definitely possessed strength. And I knew if they found me or caught me trying to pretty much exist to hide from them as they were just walking everywhere, it would be bad for me. The monsters were like constant roadblocks to find a way out of their way to no end. But I was finally spotted in the dream by one of the monsters in the store, and I tried through these this maze of racks to get away. And in my haste, I became noticeable to a woman working in the store like an employee, and she yelled out to the monsters, I guess, to inform them that I was here and come get me. So I picked up off the rack a 24 pack of canned soda box, like off the rack. Like, you know how you have the 12 can soda packs? This was a 24 can big square box, paper box that I managed to pick up by myself and throw it behind me, like throwing a boomerang. uh I threw it behind me towards the woman running after me, and it hit her dead in the head. And her flipping and tumbling down splat was kind of crazy. Like, I had a wow moment in the dream, can't even lie, because realistically I could not pick up that 24 can pack and sling it in midair like that with such strength. But it made contact, and it was like seeing a wooden puppet with hair fall to the ground. But then another female employee tries to come after me to stop me, hold me, I guess, until the giants come. I don't know. But I picked up another 24 can pack and turned around to throw it. But this woman was right in front of me and managed to grab the pack before I could throw it. And I said very seriously and sternly, F you to this woman, which totally surprised me and made me pause for a sec, because even in this moment I would never say that. That's not me or in my vocabulary. So it wasn't like like it was just, it was like a wait, hold up kind of moment for me. But my body kept going through my predicament to where I kicked her down low. She stumbled back as a result, and then I kicked her again from the front to her stomach or to her face, I can't remember, and ran out to get away. And the dream goes on, but I will stop because something like that happened to me uh, yesterday with the whole F you at the woman. And I do believe equally that Father was revealing something through the dream, because sometimes judgments or the bad stuff that goes on that he allows to transpire is also to test others through the madness of it, and look into others at how they are handling things and predicaments mentally, behaviorally, heartfully. So yesterday I was watching a guy who's a very common sense type of dude whose content is addressing the shenanigans in this world, or that of peoples in this world. He's like a voice of reason, and he was talking over a video showing the protesting, not protesting peacefully, as he is pretty much assessing it. And a young Mexican dude in stance for the protests, there at the in the protest with the Mexican flag and all, defending his actions, was talking on camera. And he went into his background, his family background a bit, bringing up his grandfather in a way, I guess, to justify his actions or the reason why he's here, in stance of all of the shenanigans. And I really didn't pay no attention to what he was saying. I got distracted at the same time because my phone, at the same time he started going into his background, I got a message during that time. So the guy was talking. I got a message on my phone and was tending to the message on my phone, and then suddenly I heard from the quote unquote voice of reason guy, F your grandfather. And when I heard that, I looked up shocked, because it sounded like he just said that. Did he just say that? And he was very stern and cold in this. So what? Who cares? What you're doing still doesn't justify your behavior. But he didn't say it like that. He said in response to this guy talking, F your grandfather. And, he said it more cold than what I did. But in my dream, I was constantly running and hiding from monsters to what I knew was no end. And that could wear anybody out. That could make anyone in that predicament going through that more than a bit irritated. So when the woman who obviously wasn't, well, who was in cahoots with the monsters tried to come at me, and I said F you to her and proceeded to defend myself and attack her, in the dream, I knew I was wrong. I knew my feelings going through my own predicament would never make me even say that to the woman who's clearly not even on my side, because I knew better than that. I'm a daughter of Christ. We don't feel that way about anybody, not even our enemies, who we are told to pray over and love those who wrong us, as well as pray over the lost. In that dream, I knew that. That's why I was so shocked to hear myself speak out that way to her like that, because what's in your heart tells your brain, and your mouth exposes the both of them. And I knew even saying that to her in the dream was not of me. I don't feel that way to ever voice that towards anybody. And it reminded me, because I had the dream last night, it reminded me of old dude when he said that towards an agitator, family, person at the protest. He said that towards their family member. And I was surprised because he proclaims Christ as well, but nevertheless, that's what's in his heart. That mouth exposed it. And I'm like, wow, you have contempt so much for the situation of his grandfather too, who the Mexican dude, who he could have been lying on his grandfather, using him for a sad, weak, justifiable story. We don't know, but still, that coming out of his mouth extended to a family member not even there at the protests. That goes beyond the level of intolerance one has. It speaks to a cold, uh, unloving heart. And I guess for some of us in Christ, it's easier because we have understanding. Because those who live to follow Yeshua, he will not leave you in the dark on what's going on out here. And we, like the rest of everyone else, we see people going out to express hate and violence that that is resulting in chaos, harm, uh, and potential death. Really, even though we too know that what they're doing is immoral, wrong, ridiculous, it doesn't make any sense, and that people are carrying out these things, that they are going to the limit of doing egregious acts, and they don't care about the effects of it or other people in their madness. We see it's not even about something they really believe in. In my opinion, they're feeding that evil spirit, using the topic of immigration to come out, and seeing these people lash out uh, is deplorable. But as sheep, we don't feel fu towards them. We don't have fu mentalities. That's the spirit of hate than love. We know most are being led right now, blinded to their demons in full control. We have been blessed with discernment to see things under judgment that is happening. The spirit of blindness is manifesting right now. And through that, and through what is going on now, we have Father's Spirit in us to feel empathy and sadness, and press us more to pray even more out of the love of our hearts for the sake of souls. Because for the actions of hate, there will be consequences later on in Christ. I'm not talking about in law. I'm talking about in Christ, which is scarier than the law. And when you don't have discernment, when you don't have spiritual eyes that comes with having a deepened relationship with Father, living in this world amongst the hateful, the wicked, and the evil, you only see a bunch of, in your head, dumb people, which is labeling it nicely for the majority, who's out here protesting foolishly. And it's going to drive your flesh to anger and contempt and even hate itself. And the mouth is going to give you away. And when I heard Elf, your grandfather, come out of this guy's mouth, because it was very cold, and I just didn't expect it really. I didn't expect him to have a vocabulary like that, but I was like, he's no different than the guy in the protest on camera spewing hate, while you then see this image of the devil in his little corner laughing at it all. And Father told me this would happen among a people who do not have him in their lives. And on the surface, it's insane. It makes no sense. You have people funding chaos. You have people, in order to make a buck, accepting to participate to create chaos. And the fact that you have a terrorist group attacking police officers and threatening them, and it's being allowed, or have been allowed to a certain extent, and some people actually believe these protests are actually peaceful. It's a spirit of blindness acting out in the madness of itself that's happening in people who are exemplifying it in full view. And if you feel what the protesters are out here doing is fine, it's valid, it's justified, you are lost and blind. And if you extend hate and contempt in the response of what is happening with the protesters out here, you are blind and lost as well. You're failing the test. Your heart is exposing itself, because even though you wouldn't physically be out there protesting in such hate and venom, hate is still in you, coming across just in another way, just a little differently than that of them out there on the streets throwing bricks. And we can say, where's the FBI? Why is no one stopping these groups of terrorists? And every question of why you can think of. But this is where the spirit of hate leads. This is where this is the length of humans who do not possess Christ. This is where they will go. This is the limit and the lengths they will go. And we need to pray for them. A suggestion not widely said or mentioned in regards to what is going on, because flesh angst or contempt is more verbalized about the situation of what's going on and taking place. But we need to pray for these people. And some of these people are given over to their hate. They're reprobates who have been sealed for a very ripe physical judgment to come, a refinement under the son of perdition when he comes and makes his debut. In 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 1-6 backs this up. But we as Christ followers, we need to be at peace and not shaken, and do not get caught up in this, because Father warned us of these times. And leave those who want to live without Christ, that only leads to sinfulness, in your prayers. What is transpiring will not affect us, because we have Father's protection over us. So let's continue to pray for the lost, so that their souls can be saved. Blessings and shalom.